Hello, good evening. We are going to do a bodyweight workout today. It's going to be approximately 30 minutes. We have a few sections that we're going to be doing. So the first one is going to be a warm-up. Second one is going to be cardio and core. And then there's two mini circuits. So there's 3 exercises per circuit. It should be about 30 minutes. You do not need any equipment. So I'm going to stick my little timer right in front of me. And there's no music, so you can put your own music in the background. And then hopefully you can hear me clearly. All right, so I'm going to set my timer. So we're going to do, let me explain it. We're going to do the warm-up. It's going to be 2 rounds of 30 seconds each. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises to total your workout, or your warm-up. So we're going to do straight leg kicks, inchworms, plank shoulder taps, plank to lunge, and rotation. I'll show you what that is. Bodyweight squats, and hip openers and closers. So we'll just get started. All right, so I'm going to put my timer on. We're going to start with straight leg kicks for your first warm-up exercise. We're going to go press 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're doing straight leg kicks. I'm going to stay up nice and tall. So from the side view, I have my ear aligned with my shoulder. We're not going to round your backs. You're just going to stay nice and tall. Whether you touch your toe or not, it doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's just a gentle little stretch in the back of the legs. And you're kind of warming up your core by lifting the leg up and out. So we don't want to round. We want to stay nice and tall. So we have 30 seconds for that. And then we have inchworms. So we're going to stay about shoulder distance apart. I'm going to walk out to a plank and then walk back up to standing. So if you want to turn this into a squat, you can squat down and out. And we have about 10 more seconds. If you want to go straight leg, you can. Then we have lunge, or plank to lunge, and rotation. So we're going to stay in the plank. Bring your foot out to the outside of your hand, and my zone is singing to me. And we're going to stay nice and long with your spine, belly drawn in, and stay as open as you can in the rotation. So the next thing we have is bodyweight squats. So I'm just going to do a regular bodyweight squat with your feet about, or just outside shoulder distance apart. Keep your knees and your toes turned out. If you want to add your upper body, you can add an overhead position at the bottom of the squat. So keep your chest up nice and tall. We got one more. And then hip openers and closers. So I'm facing this way just because I'm watching or I'm looking at my little list. But I'll face forward for the next round. We'll get 20 more seconds of this hip openers and closers. So we'll do the closers for the last 15 seconds. And with this one, your hips are going to be forward the entire time. And then we go back to straight leg kicks. So we have one more round of each of these. And if you wanted an alternative, we can always do toe touches or ground touches. You can still get a nice little hamstring stretch. So just try to keep your back nice and long and chest open. And then inchworms. Give about 10 more seconds of these guys. And we're going to add your rotation. So hold the plank, bring your foot out, and extend. Next one, bodyweight squats. So again, if you wanted to squat with the overhead position, otherwise you can just do regular bodyweight squats. I would encourage you to keep your feet outside of shoulder distance and maintain a turnout position. Then we can sink a little bit deeper into your squat. And hip openers and closers. So keeping the hips forward. So here's your front view. So my body is not rotating, it's just the hip joint. And then we're going to close. So you're just bringing your knee back, up and around. And last one. Cool. All right, so that was about 5 minutes worth of a warm-up. As you can see, my heart rate is up, or you can hear my breathing just a little bit more elevated. The next thing is going to be cardio and core. So I'm going to bring my mat right here. We're going to start with jumping jacks. There's 3 variations of jumping jacks that we'll do. And then planks and bridges. So very simple but effective to turn on the core and turn on the glutes. So we'll start about, let's say, we're going to do 40-20. So we're going to do 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest for this whole little mini circuit. So I'm going to start right on time, so I have about 10 more seconds. I want to make sure I have my mat available. And I'm going to start with the jumping jacks in 3, 2, and 1. So I'm going to start with regular jumping jacks, just staying nice and tall. I like to keep my arms fully extended so that way you can focus on moving from the shoulder joint and warming up the shoulders, the upper back, opening up the chest. So we're about 20 seconds in, and we're going to do 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds rest. I like doing these little intervals like that to give you enough rest time to figure out what you're doing next, but not long enough to where you're totally, completely relaxed. So about 3 more seconds, 2, and 1. So we have 20 seconds rest. The next one's going to be plank. So the first plank position I'll have you do, you're going to be in a forearm plank, and then you're going to move your hips from side to side. So there's no rotation. It's just moving in the hips and the waist. So we're going to come up, keep the belly drawn in. I like having my forearms parallel. You can do palms facing up or palms facing down, but the level of my hips stay even. And I'm going to try to keep my upper body nice and solid, belly drawn in, nice and strong on the legs. And we're going for another about 15 more seconds. What you want to try to not do is move from the shoulders. So you're kind of isolating or trying to isolate your waist and your hips. All right, 3, 2, and 1. And then we have, let's go this way, we have bridges, and the bridges we're going to do the exact same thing. So once we get into your bridge, keeping your feet about shoulder distance apart, we're going to go ahead and move your hips side to side. So the level of your hips, don't rotate, don't move, other than going side to side. If I were to tap the wall next to me on either side, that's just what we're doing. Small range of motion, and again, you're trying to disassociate or separate the movement from your upper body, waistline, and hips. So keep the belly drawn in. You want to keep your feet flat and push throughout your entire foot. So you can push through your heels only, but I like to push through your entire foot. And let me see what time we're at. 3, 2, and 1. So that's basically what we're doing. We're going to start right over doing 2 more rounds of each of those. The next set of jumping jacks is going to be open, close. So seal jacks, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So open, close. Stay light on your toes. And same thing, shoulders are down and relaxed. Belly drawn in. And you want to have a nice gentle stretch in the chest and shoulders. So you don't want to fling your arms back. You want to keep it nice and controlled in both directions. Stay nice and tall. 20 more seconds here. And we're going to move into the planks right after. We have about 10 more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then we're going back to plank. So the same form, plank. This time your hips are going to rotate. So they don't move from the center line, but they are going to swivel. So once we're out in our plank, I'm going to keep that same plank position. Upper body nice and solid. Belly drawn in. And it's kind of like you're dropping one hip down at a time. So I don't want you to sway back and forth. Small range of motion. Again, belly drawn in tight. If you need a little bit of support or stability help, you can bring your feet wider. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring your feet together. 15 more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the bridges. So once you lay all the way back, feet about shoulder distance apart and parallel. Do this. Bring the shoulders down and away from the ears. Bring yourself up to your bridge position. And it's the same thing. You're going to rotate the hips. You don't cross the center line. So you're just lifting one hip bone at a time up toward the ceiling. So you're going to feel this alternating each side and each side of the glutes. So right, left, right, left. And you're trying to stay nice and steady in your bridge. So keep the belly drawn in and focus on the push of the glute and hamstring more than how high your hips are actually going. And then that way you can keep your lower back nice and controlled and not overarching. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. We have one more round of that. We're going jumping jacks in another 10 seconds or so. The next set of jumping jacks is going to be like a crossover jack. So the feet are going to cross alternating, and then the arms are going to cross alternating. So if you can't do that, then we're going back to the steel jacks. So we're going to go, again, 40 seconds. This is just really good for coordination, some balance, getting your heart rate up. And then same thing, open up the chest, open up the shoulders, but stay nice and tall. 20 seconds. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Cool. The next one in your plank is going to be a plank march. So while you're in your plank, you're going to extend the legs, alternating each side, and you want to move from the base of the glute, top of the hamstring. So what that looks like, come all the way down, the forearms parallel. So again, if you need a little bit more stability, you can bring your feet a little bit wider. So it doesn't really matter how high your foot goes. It's more how much can you squeeze from the hamstring and the glute. How much extension can you get from the hip flexor. 3, 2, and 1. So relax, and then we're going to be doing the same thing in the bridge position. So you're marching in the bridge position. So scoot the shoulders out of the ears, keep your feet shoulder distance apart,
And we're trying to maintain this perfect bridge, and then you're lifting. So use your lower core to lift up to about tabletop position. And you're moving from the hips on the lower core. So try to not just kick your legs all the way out with momentum. Everything's moving with control. We have 10 more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Good. So that's cardio and core. We did our warm up. The next segment that we'll do. I need this squat jumps, speed ups, and negative pop ups. Cool. So I'll start in another couple seconds. We'll start in about 10 seconds. We're going to go squat jumps. There's a couple variations that I'll do. So set 1, I'll try one variation, and I'll just mix it up in the next 2 sets. 3, 2, and 1. So if you don't want to do a basic squat jump, you can do a squat jack. We have a little bit of a break in the middle, tiny bit. If you want to get a little bit more core or rotation or just kind of mixing it up, you can take that little break in the middle, but focus on rotating from the bottom half of your body, or you can just stay with your squat jumps. If you need to go into bodyweight squats, that's cool too. And we're going to go about 45 seconds for each exercise with a 10-second or 15-second break. So this is my 15-second break. We're going to do V-ups next. So we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there's a couple ways you can do this. So more advanced, you want to rock up, balance on your tailbone. If you want to keep your lower back on the ground, you can do it that way too. If your lower back is kind of bugging, you can keep your knees tucked in and extend your arms back while holding this little crunch position. So either variation is fine. Forgot what time we're doing. Oh, 10 more seconds. Cool. And then the last one is a negative pop-up. So it's kind of like a chaturanga. If you've ever done yoga, it's just a slow down version of the push-up. So we're still going to push yourself up, but we're going to start in a plank. You can have your feet wider if you want, and you just want to do a nice and controlled movement all the way down to the ground. And for this one, I do want to go all the way down, like you're totally relaxing at the bottom, but as soon as you go dead weight, you're popping right back up. So 15-second break, and then we have squat jumps again. So we've got 2 more rounds of that same thing. There's only 3 exercises. There are a bajillion different ways to do them, but we're going back to squat jumps. I like squat jacks, so I'm going to do that. Then from the side view, you're still trying to keep your shoulders relaxed, everything from the rib cage up nice and tall. And for me, sinking into my hips as much as possible to get all that load to go down right into the lower body. 20 more seconds here. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Next one, V-ups. I'll show you a variation of the V-ups. So if those options were not available to you, I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. We're going to go opposite arm towards opposite leg. So you're still crunching up. Your leg is going to go pretty much like 90 degrees straight up toward the ceiling. So you don't want to like over kick into this extension. So it's almost like you're crunching up and then kind of reaching towards your toe. So again, it doesn't matter if you actually touch your toe. It's just the direction you're going in. So it's like a little extra added little baby crunch at the very top. You can support your head if you want. You can have your arm at the ground. You can even use your bottom arm for a little bit of help. Last one. Good. So 15 seconds for your break. And then we're going to the negative push-ups. So there's another variation for this. If you wanted to, start your negative, and then if you needed to bring your knees down, that's totally fine too, but try to guide your chest down first. So if that helps to kind of go as far as you can go, bring the knees down, and then lower from the chest down first, as much as possible. That's a variation. On the pop up, you can do the regular push-up, like stay solid and then come up. But I want to focus on the negative downward part. So that's why I'm doing more power up to the top. Cool. All right, and then round 3, back squat jumps. Same thing, got 5 more seconds. If you wanted to work on your rotational coordination, I'm doing a quarter turn. You can certainly do a half turn. I would pick a spot on either wall to always look for. But I like the quarter turn, a little bit more doable if you haven't done this for a while. We have 20 more seconds, and this is the last set of this circuit for squat jumps. Cool. The last variation of V-ups is a side V-up. So starting from this laying down position, you're going to bring your arm out to the side, and you're going to lean over so you're balancing on your bottom glute. So we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. So you can use your bottom arm to help if you want. If this is too much, you can bring your knees in. And stay nice and tall. Now we're going to switch sides. You'll see my back side. And relax. Last set here is the negative pop-up. So again, you have those variations. If you want to just hold the plank or hold the high plank, that's an option as well. And this will be the last one for this mini circuit. And as you can see, my heart rate is up, my breathing is up. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So we're at minute 24 since I started the warm-up. Obviously out of breath. I have 3 more exercises, 1 more circuit to go. It's going to be the same time, 45 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. It's going to be lunge to high knee or lunge jumps. So I'll show you a couple variations of that. Plank taps or plank extensions. Show you a couple versions of that. Superman snow angels, so we'll be on your belly, and your arms are going to be extending to work on the upper back and posture for your shoulders. And I think I'm going to go here, and I'll just move the mat. So we're going to go in like 10 seconds. The first one is lunge to high knee. So we'll start with that, and I'll show you a variation. So you're starting in a lunge. So you can either just come up nice and tall and really drive the knee up high. I'm going to count some reps to estimate your time. And then you're going to switch. I like to bring my knee down nice and gentle to make sure that I'm getting to about 90 degrees at both legs. And then we have I started on time, so 45 seconds of work. We have 15 seconds rest from here. Plank taps is the first one out of the planks. So we're going to come up to the plank. And then you want to try to stay as steady as you can in your plank. So because you're going like single arm, technically, you want to bring your feet a little bit wider than normal. And if you want to do like a somewhat modified version, you can tap your hand. You can even go onto your knees. So there's different ways to do the shoulder taps. There's also alternating tapping your hips. So you can play around with this. Just maintain as perfect plank as you can. And I'm going to hold the next 5 seconds because I can't talk and exercise at the same time. All right, the next one we have Superman Snow Angels. So this is really good for our rounded posture position. So we're going to go into a Y, and you're laying down, or facing down. Squeeze your glutes, lift the chest up and the arms off the ground. Stay as big as you can. Bring your arms out to an A, which is down here. If you need a rest, it's going to be at the Y position. So lifting the chest up, bring arms back. If it helps to have like a yoga block right here just to keep your neck in neutral, you can do that. This should not hurt your lower back. And if it is, squeeze your butt more and feel the upper back engaging. Cool. All right, so round 2 of your lunge to high knee. We can change it up to do like a lunge jump. I'll show you variations of that. We've got 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. So one variation is lunge jump. We can add that little in-between kind of break. Three, 2, 1. Next one, plank taps. Or plank extension. So I'll show you the plank extension. So again, you can do modified if you want, and extend the arm. I like extending the arm with the thumb facing up to keep your shoulder a little bit more neutral. And same thing, you want to maintain your plank. If you had like a cone in front of you, you can do an extension to tap. Three, two, one. Coming back down to your belly. And extending the arms out into your Y. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, focusing on the upper back, back of the shoulders. Again, I like thumbs facing up the entire time from the Y position. You can play. We have 20 more seconds. Shoulders nice and relaxed out of the ears. Think of a long neck, long spine. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we have our last set. Final round. Last set of lunge jumps or lunge to high knee or alternating lunges. So we can do alternating lunges, stepping back. Again, I like to tap my knee down just a little bit to make sure I'm getting full range of motion into my glute, hip, and knee. You can hold a weight if you want, but I like body weight workouts so you don't have to depend on things. And then you can also add your little knee up if you wanted. So one more on each side, and relax. Okay, so plank taps or shoulder extensions. I'm going to do plank taps, and I'm going to switch up shoulder taps to hips. And we're going to make up in 3, 2, and 1. You can even do ear to ear. When you're in your plank, keep looking forward to the top of your mat or just above your fingertips. That way you're not looking down. And my arms are tired. I'm going to go to my knees and do your extensions. Good, relaxed. Last set for the last 45 seconds. Again, an 8. Laying down on your belly. Bring your arms to a Y. Thumbs facing up. 3, 2, and 1. Keeping your neck nice and long, and again, kind of looking a little bit ahead of you, not directly down to the floor. Keep your arms fully extended so your arms are active. Lift away from the ground. Stay as high as you can into your A. Go back into your Y, and if you need to break, come back down. I'm hitting the wall, so I'm going to scoot. We have 15 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. So, if you followed along, I would say start your own timer. Make sure I'm like on point, but I was using my timer. We had a body weight warm-up that took about 5 minutes. Heart rate got up, breathing went up. We did a cardio and core circuit. That was another 6 minutes or so. And then we did 2 body weight circuits with 3 exercises each. And they were 45 seconds each exercise with 15 seconds break. So I hope that works out for you. I'll show you a shot of my zone to show you that my heart rate was up the entire time. And let me know what you think. See ya.